the house, the one they talking about, word of mouth. The boxing playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
Welcome, this is Sakura A and Emilio Santana.
What's up, y'all?
And of course, tonight is Ladies' Night Edition. We have an amazing guest, and then she's going to help us co-host, talk about some hot topics in boxing this week, as well as talk about her Florida Boxing Hall of Fame induction ceremony coming up June 19th, and it's going to be a huge weekend. Are you excited about this?
So excited. 2 weeks away, y'all.
All right, so we got to get this sports commentator, journalist. What else can she do? Everything. She's a superwoman. We got Claudia Trejos with us tonight.
Cheers, 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 cheers. That's cheers. See, we know what we're supposed to do. Where's yours?
I know. I never have time to fix my situation.
Emilio, en serio, you sat, you fixed yourself a drink, and it's ladies' night, and Sakura has no drink?
Give it to me. Give it to me. That makes a lot of sense. Toast.
I thought she had something over here already, Claudia.
It's okay. But Emilio, sharing is caring. I got you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
sharing is caring, and you care for her so much. You decided I'm gonna give you the best of me, so we share.
Okay. Yeah.
You owe me. You know you owe me.
I got you.
Okay. Listen, you look like you have some delicious wine there. I mean, you're ready for Boxing Playhouse Ladies' Night Edition.
Yeah, of course. This is a beautiful Pinotage waiting just for you guys. It's from Schwarzland, and it was like waiting for Sakura and Emilio. I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Yes.
Okay.
Heaven. Now, your career has just been amazing. You have really been a trailblazer. I really feel like you're someone that doesn't get the respect or enough attention or the accolades that you so richly deserve. And the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, they're ready and prepared to change that by going ahead and acknowledging you and inducting you this year. So congratulations.
Yes.
I am honored. I am, a lot of people, I'm good friends with Paulie, and Paulie looked at me, he said, weren't you inducted already? It's like, no, I wasn't. But the truth is, when you're doing what you love, that's my fix right there. That's my high. I get home, and you know how people just say, oh, I had a shitty day. I go, I never have a shitty day. I never do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to live life. Especially some of the things that I read about you and just your fortitude in life's journeys. Nobody has a perfect life, let's just say that right away.
Mm-hmm.
But some of us have to go through an entirely different road, a rough road to get to where your happy spot is right now.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your inspirational speaking and different things that you do to help out, women and other people around the world almost.
And it all started coming together during the pandemic. We all know for the first time ever in my 53 years of life, sports stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I had absolutely nothing to talk about, and I had nothing to do. And you start wondering, what am I going to do with my life? What's going to happen? I'm a mother. What's going to happen to my daughter? And, you start making all these thoughts and ideas and assumptions. And like a lot of people, they found themselves feeling vulnerable and helpless. And you know what?
Yeah.
In that transition, I realized, you know what? I could be a trailblazer. I could be a whole lot of things, but first and foremost, I'm Claudia, and I have my doubts, and I have my, hesitations and my insecurities, and this is the right time for me to face them. This is the right time to assume that I am indeed not perfect, and that I am not Superwoman. And as much as I work and I love what I do, there's times that I just don't feel like doing it. Not because of anything. It's just because aren't we all just tired sometimes?
Right.
This is
Yes,
basic.
but you got a lot of energy now, Claudia. You
I
do,
do.
because I mean, I saw you all the way over in Biloxi just this past weekend, and now you're back home, I'm assuming.
Well, I went from Biloxi to New Orleans to Tampa, and then I came home, and now I'm going to Guadalajara. Then I come home, then I go back to the St. Pete area. Then I
Mhm.
come back. Then I go to Ciudad de Mexico. Are you tired already?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm definitely tired already. My energy is low. Yours is like super good, but yeah, we do
But
all get tired at some point. I
we
understand.
do, and don't you all feel like there's one time in life, or maybe two and three times, that you still wonder, what the heck am I doing? What is all this grind for? So I had to look deep down inside, and I found out that a lot of people feel the way I felt, but we just don't talk about it. Why is it that we don't talk about it? And it's okay. And the minute that you like offload all that weight, because we're all carrying the weight of the world, and then we realize we don't have to carry nobody's weight. We don't have to carry anybody's world. All we have to do is carry ourselves. So that's when I started some motivational speaking. And it was really nice because you get to see other sides of people, among them of your own. You know, you get to see that other side, the dark side, the one side that nobody really sees, that sometimes you even just shove under the carpet so nobody sees, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that it does take a while for you to come to those thoughts when you're by yourself finally, during this terrible pandemic, and you start realizing like, wow, that really happened to me X amount of years ago, and I never even addressed it.
Exactly. You were talking about we a lot of us, everybody has a grind. Everybody has the school of hard knocks is gonna knock on your door eventually, somehow. And whatever trouble or tribulation XYZ is going through, it's their trouble and tribulation, and it's always gonna be a testing ground. But the interesting thing is exactly what you said, Shakura. A lot of times we're so caught up on in the grind and just getting stuff done and making sure that everything is done, and that we're like octopuses. We got hands all over the place, making sure that everything is under control, so we don't worry about those aches and pains and those heartaches and those headaches and those disappointments and unfulfilled expectations and all that stuff. So when you don't have anything to do, like the pandemic, all of a sudden these started creeping in. And that's when I started going like into a corner, like, no, 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 no. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. But I had to. And I had to. I looked at myself in the mirror. I saw my wrinkles, my gray hair, my cellulite, my flaccid skin, and whatever comes underneath. And you know what? I gave myself the time. I gave myself the time. I gave myself the space to say, you know what? You are not perfect, but you're badass. My cellulite, my
Well, whew, child, you just made me see some couple of things I'm gonna have to address myself here. And I'm not ready to do it, but I mean, I've seen you working out and training on your IG, and just having a second, refreshing breath of life. I mean, is that renewal something that you would suggest everyone should do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and we're going to keep it to boxing. Y'all remember Bernard Hopkins, remember George Foreman. I mean, if anything, and I'm going to put the X's and O's aside, those are examples to follow. Those are people that you go in their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
They're still vying for championships. Right. See, I've come to find out that not necessarily do I need to be a champion, but I need to challenge myself. The day that I stop moving, I start devolving. I don't want to devolve. I want to keep evolving. I want to be the best of me, not necessarily because of my image or because what so and so or industry says, or no, it's because I wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, and I have to, because if I don't, then what's the point? And my why is very simple. I got a 17-year-old girl that depends on me, and I want to be there for her. I want to make sure that whenever she needs me for as long as I can, and God willing for a while, I want to be in my best shape mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because all that encompasses me. And I have to make sure that they're all aligned.
Right.
And that was key because I wasn't aligned. I love what I did. I love work. So that was my refuge. But the rest, girl, I have no idea. It was like all over the place. But time comes. Hard knocks. It's gonna come knocking on your door.
Yes. Tell me about where you were at when you found out or got the call that you were going to be inducted this year for the 40th.
Oh, guys, this was hilarious. So I do BYB. I also do bare knuckle. So we had just finished the bare knuckle, and somebody says, make sure you're close to a phone on December 26th. I'm like, okay. This was December 17th when I was told, make sure you have your phone on you December 26th.
Right.
Okay. But it's Christmas. It's around Christmas time. You're meeting up with friends. You're doing the whole Secret Santa, whatever. And us, Hispanics, we celebrate Christmas from December 1st till, Octavitas back in January, It's what we do. So, of course, chances were I had a couple of drinks on me, but because I was with friends. So we had just said goodbye, and I'm on my way with my daughter. We're going home. We're chit-chatting. The phone rings. And it was a number that I didn't recognize, so I just let it ring. I'm like, I should answer this phone. So, hi, may I speak with Claudia? I said, speaking. So this is so-and-so, so-and-so, and I'm very happy and very honored to notify you that you will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, your class of 2022.
Wow.
Okay. So if you guys have seen me,
present.
no kid, and my daughter was right next to me. Wow. So Stephen goes, hello? And I said, yes. Did I lose you? And my daughter chimes in and she says, no, she didn't lose you. She's just speechless. For the first time in 16 years that I've known her, she has nothing to say. It's and I'm going to put this in perspective. When I started in sports, in the world of sports, it was back in 1990. I was in Los Angeles. And, I was there when so many greats, especially in baseball, hockey, boxing, were coming up and they were being, recognized. And you're thinking, oh, yeah, Juan Marichal, one of the first Hispanics to ever be inducted into Baseball Hall of Fame. And I'm thinking, and you meet them and you're like, damn, it's going down in the books,
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought that would happen to me. It's never in my agenda.
You never crossed your mind that you were doing such an amazing job that you might be thought of in that way?
Mama, again, I go back to what I said at the very beginning. I love what I do. So and I'm glad this stays between us, girls and boy. Nobody needs to know this. Even if I didn't get paid, I would be doing what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I don't get paid, even when I'm not even involved with the networks, whatever,
right.
I am going to New York, to Las Vegas, to Los Angeles, because I love what I do. Mm-hmm. And it's not just for boxing. I do it for the NBA. I do it for the NFL.
Yes.
I mean, yes, because I used to say I'm sick like that, but I'm not sick. I'm just passionate, and I understand that this is where I belong. It's like asking a fish to get out of water.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
I didn't really know that you had the sports career that, when you was crossing over to different sports besides, the combat sports world. So when I read that about you, I'm like, wow. I mean, she got like even more experience doing this than we first, knew about. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be in the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame as an inductee.
Thank you. I've been blessed with doing baseball, hockey, football, obviously boxing, NASCAR, professional bull riding, dominoes, tennis. I love tennis. I think that's about it.
Wow. I mean, did you have a sports background? Did you used to play when you were a teenager? I mean, what's going on with this love for sports?
Besides beating people up? Yes. So the story goes, I was a gymnast, but before that, before I was even aware of a racket, a tennis racket, my dad had me playing at the tee line, playing, just throwing balls back. So I started playing tennis solid, I'd say at 8, but I started hitting balls at 5. So by 8, I started playing. By the time I was 10, I was doing gymnastics. But throughout my life, I was raised in a very, very big family. I'm number 13. I'm number 14 out of 17. And
Wow.
there's only 4 girls. So the boys, they thought of me as a joke because of all the girls, I was the one I'm the third girl. Then there's a younger sister. But of the girls, I was the one that would wake up in the morning. I would go run. I was changing oils, rotating tires. I know how to change a filter in the car
Great
because I wanted to
cowboy.
yeah, I was hanging out with my brothers. So my dad, being my dad, because it's the type of family system that the older ones would take care of the younger ones. So it was almost a punishment. But that it was a great system because if you're gonna go with so and so or that chick, or if you're gonna go hang out, you gotta take the baby. So you could see in their eyes, it's like, gosh, really? So they would want to take me because I was the cool kid. I was the cool little sister.
Yeah.
That I looked like I didn't really look like a girl, but it was like I wasn't gonna rat on them, and I really lived it up and munched it up and ate, the experience. And of course, they taught me how to do mitts, and like by the time I was 8, I already had a speed bag in my house. So it was like, and then I broke my first nose when I was 12, and then my third by the time I was 16. So the story was, I know, I'm not proud of that, but just don't mess around with the little one. Just don't. But I love, and there is something very competitive within me, but I also love the camaraderie that comes with sports. And we all know, we hate, we do the trash talking, and we beat on people, and we talk, throw people under the bus. But once the fight is done, after that last bell, it's a hug and a kiss and respect for that person that went up in the ring. And I love that. At the end of any NBA final, NHL, even after the Super Bowl, it's like you almost feel for that second best because nobody's going to remember them. And we all know I'm speaking facts. Nobody remembers second runner-up.
Yeah.
Ever. But I feel for that guy. I feel for that team. Because, do you want me to tell you how many times I was runner-up? And it hurts. So I
think I was third runner-up one time for a pageant.
But I know, but that's a completely different kind of worms, girl. You're the third prettiest girl, and I tell you, I bet you were number 1 in personality and charisma.
Maybe I won that the whole interview section. It just wasn't enough though.
My point exactly. And I bet you the judges just didn't know what they were looking at.
Yeah, it was a lot of things going on. And I mean, I want to delve into that with you fairly quickly, not trying to get anybody in trouble or ruffle any feathers, but that climb when you're in a male dominated sports and you're also not just a female, but a minority. I mean, that's a hill to climb. I mean, how were you able to adjust and be adaptable to the needs of these big outlets, without losing yourself and who you are, personally?
I didn't adjust.
What?
I didn't adjust. I just kept being me. And the more no's I got, and the more you're too Hispanic and you're too short. And I remember when I used to have my hair in different colors. Why can't you just keep it one color? Because I don't want to. Because it's a lot easier said than done, because I had people come up to me and say, if you would just comply, it would be so much easier. I go, no. Because if I comply, then I have to do the struggle of fighting me against me. And I am the one that goes to sleep with myself.
Right.
I am the one putting my head on my pillow.
True. And it would never stop. It would always be just do this and just do that. And
but the just is chipping away at me.
Right.
And I'm not perfect at all. I suck at many things. But you know what? I still suck my way. If I was to suck somebody else's way because somebody else imposed their views and their ideas of what the way I was supposed to look or sound like, then I'm not sucking my way. I'm sucking their way. Because again, my profession is very subjective. Criticism is gonna come, like it or not. So if I'm going to get criticism and I'm going to live or die with criticism, it might as well be criticism at me, for me, not because I'm trying to be somebody else.
Right. And it's something to be said about authenticity today. It seems like everyone that's a huge success that we look at these days is because they're very authentic to themselves. And I think that's one thing that sets you apart from other sportscasters, female sportscasters even, is just the trueness that you have. I was able to look at a little bit of your gig that you had this past weekend, where you co-hosted with Bob Alexander.
I love Bob.
I know, he's so wonderful, and he's a true supporter of females and women.
Yes, he is indeed. So between us, girls and gentlemen,
okay,
it was Bob who told me, have the phone on you on December 26th. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But he wouldn't tell me. It was Bob, just make sure you have the phone on you. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but I remembered Bob said to keep the phone on me. But I love Bob.
Yeah, he's a definite jewel in the sport.
I had a question for Claudia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Claudia, I know you've been to a lot of places all over the world. I was just curious, what place you enjoyed the most, and what athlete, if you can name one, that you really enjoyed meeting? Because I know you've been in basketball and boxing and all that, all the different sports. Maybe
she's one of the best places.
Yeah, one of the best places.
One of the best places, because there's a lot. So I know this is gonna be a little weird, but Athens, I was there for many, many weeks for the Olympics in 2004. And Greece in general is a perfect combination of us, the way we are, family, loud, and just like all out living life, but European style with a lot of history and respect for the elders. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice balance. Right. And the beaches are gorgeous, and but I met Andre Ward there. That was when Andre Ward got his gold medal.
Oh wow.
And yes, exactly. And I remember all eyes were on him. All eyes were on him. And I don't know if you guys know, but he's very quiet. He's a man of very few words. And at the time, he was just a kid. He was only 18, somewhere around there. Wow. And the first thing he said was he wanted to thank Virgil Hunter for everything that he had done, and, to USA Boxing. And he was, very composed, not or maybe not letting on how huge the moment was, not just for him, for the U.S. Let's not forget, we have yet to have in men's boxing another gold medal since then.
Right.
Wow.
Then we do have a lady that has 2 gold medals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clarissa.
Yes.
That's something out of all the talent, like Earl Spence, Shakira Stevenson. None of the guys were able to win a gold since Andre Ward. That's
a long.
That's why I bring it up.
A lot of corruption that was happening with the Olympics and where people were probably the winners from the US, you know?
Mama,
I love Clarissa.
I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Okay.
Corruption is not new, and we've dealt with corruption, especially in boxing. And Aiba at the time was just as dirty as it was with Shakur, Teofimo Lopez. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Remember, Teofimo was out representing Honduras. So it's been crooked all along. We know exactly what needs to be done in the ring. We know. All fighters know. It's almost like part of, I'm not going to say like they train for it, but no. It's like they understand that they cannot let this go. They cannot let points go. Everybody knows that, especially if you're fighting against an Uzbek or a Kazakh. Politics at the time were at its highest. So if you know and you're getting in there, you need to be the first one to hit, make sure your defense is up, basic fundamentals of boxing.
Yes.
And make sure your points count, because that was another thing. But now when we're getting into the X and O's, which is kind of boring for most people, but that's my point. When
I love the passion and that fact that you do know these nuances of boxing. You're more than a pretty face. So anytime that you want to talk boxing, honey, you just go right on.
You said I was pretty.
You want.
Thank you.
Do you feel like you're a sex symbol?
No.
No.
Why
not? And I'm gonna say this because at 53, I want to say I'm a sexy female. I'm a sexy lady, but I'm not a sex symbol. Symbol comes and goes. But when you're elegant and you're sexy, it's a different animal. And that's what I am.
All right, now I'm liking those words. I'm liking that a lot. I mean, but 53, oh my God, that's like the new 25 these days. If we compare it to you, the way you looking. I mean,
thank you, love. Yes, because you know what? 50s are the new 30s. 60s are the new 40s. Because I'm closer to 60s than 50s. So, but it's about, you know what? Women nowadays, they find they're finding themselves. They're finding their happiness, their peace, their wholeness. Back in the day, I remember my mom, professional lady, yada yada yada, but she was miserable. She hated life. She just did what she had to do, and she was good at it. But it was like she was on a grind and there was no time. There's, you know what the sexiest thing on earth is?
What's that?
A woman that knows self-care.
Ooh.
Hey,
that's true.
And we'll hang up on you so they can get it.
Claudia,
or make sure he hangs up so he can get it.
Yes.
Claudia, what month is your birthday?
March.
Oh, March. Okay.
Pisces? I'm a Pisces. Yes.
Yay. 11th? 12th?
20th. I'm on the cusp. Pisces, Aries.
Aries too. That's a powerful combination though, to be honest with you.
You know what? To be honest with you, the most beautiful thing of every single female is that no matter what month of the year they're born, women have the perfect balance between the male energy and the female energy. And the way, once they recognize that and they can balance it out, there's no stopping them at all.
I love that. I can see why she's an inspirational speaker. You hear it too?
Yeah, I hear it.
Oh yes. So
cheers.
You're the amen and a cheers on that one. Mm-hmm. Well, we did have a question from someone.
Yes.
Let's see who it is. They actually want to talk about Canelo with you.
Oh, let's talk about, oh my God, there's a lot of comments. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right. So we got KOTR and he says, does Claudia feel Canelo will fight Brawl again?
Maybe.
That's the perfect answer, really.
There's the one thing I've learned about Canelo in the last decade and a half that I've covered him, I've had the fortune to cover him. You never know what to expect from Canelo. And Canelo is the move maker today. You know, back in the day, you know, even if we're looking at boxing greats before Floyd, there were few that could call their own shots. As a matter of fact, not even the greatest of the greatest of the greatest, Muhammad Ali, Marvin Hagler, you know, where do I stop? They did not have the opportunity to call their own shots. And that's the beautiful thing about boxing nowadays. It has taken the control and the power from all the those that used to have the power and the control, which were the managers and the promoters. Now they know the value that they bring to the table and they can promote themselves. The one thing that I can tell you is Canelo today, just between us, ladies and gentlemen, does Canelo really need to prove anything? No. No. What does he need to prove? That he can put butts in those seats? No. That he can box? No. That he can make money? No. So why is he doing it? Business and me being able to create the promotional company that he's always wanted to belong. Always. He is paving the way for other guys. So if the attention of the media goes to another fight against Bivol, that's exactly what he's going to do. But first, let's talk about Gennady Golovkin. Why don't we?
Yeah, what's going on with Triple G right now? I mean, do you see him at 168? Apparently, that's where he would have to go if he intends on having this rematch in September.
No, the rematch is signed and ready. We have a date.
Okay.
We have a date. It's already done. And he will have, I mean, it's the limit is 168. So for those that are, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to those that do know, but you know, I understand that there's other people that might not get it.
Right.
Once you go to 161, it's already super middleweight. So Gennady can stay at 162, 163. He's already super middleweight. Now, it's up to him if he chooses to go up to the limit of super middleweight, which is 168. He won't go to 168. I don't think it behooves somebody like Gennady Golovkin to go up to 168. Because even at 160, if you see his frame is not a big frame. He's not as muscle-packed as Canelo is. Canelo is bulkier. So Canelo can actually rehydrate easily to 180, 180 something. Gennady doesn't do that. But I think he can still hold his own at 168. And I mean that loosely. I'm going to say super middleweight level.
Zone. Yeah.
Exactly.
Zone.
I think he can, you know, a lot of people forget that before those two fights against Canelo, he was the most powerful, hard-hitting, a power to be reckoned with at 160. The longest knockout win streak, hands down. That was compared to Kovalev. And Kovalev heavyweight.
Yeah.
So the fact that Canelo can actually stand in front of him, take his punch for 12 rounds, and one is a split draw and the other one was a split decision win. Hello? It doesn't matter how old or young you are, you're still at the highest level. And look at what he did at Ryoto Murata days after he turned 40. I'm looking forward. Can you tell that I'm looking forward to that fight? I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. I mean, it's a trilogy. It's been in the wait. A lot of people wanted this fight earlier, to be honest, but we finally got it now. So you might as well just enjoy it. And as I always say, Claudia, don't I always say this?
Yeah, you do.
They saying they ain't gonna watch it now. But just wait until that fight week. We're gonna see everybody in their closets, calling friends, doing whatever they gotta do to see this fight.
Oh yeah, or buying the little box so they can actually get the fight without paying. Because you know there's people that do that. Let's be clear on this. Yeah, it cracks me up, and I'm gonna go back to the Mike Tyson, my favorite motto ever. You know, loved by few, hate by many, respected by all. And then Floyd, we all know, he made money based on the people that wanted to see him lose.
Right. Yeah,
and the last time I checked, $1 million here, $1 million there, that you can pay at least a cable bill with that, no? I mean, I'm saying.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, that's a formula that seems to work. You have another question?
No.
Oh, okay. We do have some guests also waiting to join us, Claudia. We had some, this is like ladies' night, so it's time to party. We got summertime brawlers in the house. We got Florida Boxing Hall of Fame boxers in the house for our weekend of fun here in St. Petersburg at the Marriott.
Yes. Oh, but I have to say hi to Steve Baxley. We've been friends forever and a day.
Yes. There we
And
go.
then,
We
of
said
course,
hello.
yes, yes, hi. And then Dalia Duran. Oh my God. Talk about legacies. Talk about just families with deep roots in the sport. Perhaps the most, oddly enough, the fiercest force behind women in boxing
Yeah.
comes with a Duran last name. Isn't that beautiful?
It is amazing and it's wonderful. And, she has her Florida Boxing Hall of Fame ring, but I do wish that she was like a little less mysterious sometimes so people can know exactly how much, she works or how hard she works to help women in the sport.
As a matter of fact, we speak often, and I'm very well acquainted with her dad, obviously. And the one thing that I do appreciate from Dahlia is the fact that she would rather understand that the power is always on the bottom. And the way a metaphor that I like to see with when she tells me about these things is like a river. The rip currents, and like in the at the beach, the rip currents are always underneath, but those are the ones that do most damage because you never know when those are coming.
Right.
And that's Dahlia right there. She's a power to be reckoned with. She represents us in the best way. And she doesn't need to be confirmed or ratified or verified by anybody at
Right.
all. She does her work silently and diligently. Best way ever.
Claudia, I need a quick prediction. Haney, Kambosos.
He wasn't there yet. Oh, he has been waiting to ask you this question.
Be careful, because did you see the Kambosos Teofimo Lopez fight?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. What was your prediction for that fight?
You know what? I thought T.O. was going to win. I didn't know a whole lot about Kambosos at that time, but he really made me a fan and a believer in him.
Exactly. The way I see it, this is a tough call. Haney showing up without his dad. What is the common denominator behind every great fighter?
Great trainer.
And then?
Family support.
Family support.
A lot of father and son teams too.
Yes, but that could be counterproductive. That could be counterproductive.
Well, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, but the common denominator in terms of motivation is hunger. Haney made the money before he actually became anything. And I'm not going to take away from his boxing skills. I'm just talking about his motivation, his will, combined with the fact that his constant cheerleader supporter is not going to be there. Combined with the fact that he's fighting down under. Combined with the fact that he's fighting on a Sunday morning just to make sure that we get to see it on Saturday night. Combined with the fact, let's add, George Kambosos has. Can I use the word balls?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This
Balls
is
of
PlayHouse.
steel.
This is the PlayHouse.
There you go. Balls of steel.
Balls.
Yeah.
Balls of. But
Sorry.
can I just take you back to that 9th round against Teofimo?
Yeah, the 9th round. We're ready. What you got?
He had no legs. No legs. And yet he recovered from that knockdown, and 11th and 12th were all George Kambosos. All of it. And if you were to compare pedigree, accolades, recognition, power, it was Teo.
Yeah.
That was all neutralized by one single man that had more will than power.
Right.
George Kambosos. And constantly we dismiss the boxing acumen. We always look, especially nowadays, we're always looking for that one guy that has the power, knockout power, to take the win. Let's not forget that Andrew Ward, for all intents and purposes, smart fighter, not a knockout artist at all. Yet he destroyed Sergey Kovalev, not once, but twice. And let's move forward. Kambosos is in his country. He's mad. He's mad as hell because his country turned his back on him when he was fighting Teofimo. So now he's got something to prove in his own home country. So I like to talk about the intangibles because the X's and O's, those we can go back and look at fights, and then, you know, he leads with his right and he adjusts his height with his back leg and he fights in his back, whatever. We can break it down till we're blue in the face. You know what? It only takes one person, one word, one thought, and that all goes out the window. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Tito Trinidad, Oscar de la Hoya. Oscar was winning that fight. And the minute that they told him, you got this, he decided to run for the last 4 rounds.
Oh my gosh.
Know what I'm saying?
That was a really bad one. That's
what I'm saying.
That's why I say you should never tell your boxer that.
Amen to that.
It's like don't even have that thought in his mind that he's winning.
Exactly.
Well, Claudia, we got to get some of our guests on here with us tonight, and then we can continue our conversation.
Oh, yes.
But I am definitely going with Kambosos. I feel like there's a lot of uphill and forces working against Haney, including that Sunday morning brawl that he's just not used to.
Exactly. Exactly.
He'll have to knock Kambosos out to come out of there winner. The way I see it.
Australian referee. I believe there's 2 Australian judges, 1 American judge, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm saying Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, like that's like a big, huge one. And they allowed Horn to do a lot of roughhousing in that fight.
Yes, they did.
So Haney, he might get it, babe.
Claudia, you think they fighting in the same outdoor arena where it's gonna be early in the morning or inside?
Let me tell you, I'm gonna look that up because I'm not even sure. I don't think it's the same arena because it's not in Brisbane. I was in Brisbane. This is let me tell you. Marvel Stadium Source. No, it's not the same one. This is in Stadium in Docklands, Australia. It is open. It is open.
Oh yeah.
It'll be bright, early morning light in there.
Yeah.
Yes. And we think it's stupid, but those little details make a big difference because now your training changes.
Yeah.
Your schedule changes.
Like fighting 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it is.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how he deals with just that time change situation. But it's also, like I said, it just adds to everything else he has to try to come up with to take a win out of Australia. Let's see. It's summertime, Claudia.
Yes.
Can you tell? Summertime Brawl in ATL coming up. Yeah. And we got 2 of the ladies from Summertime Brawl with us. We've got Terri.
Hi, Terri.
How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing awesome. And then we also got boxer Avril. What's going on, Mathie?
I love having ladies night. And I'm feeling right.
Yeah, we got that ladies energy in here. We also are going to have our golden child with us from TNK Boxing Promotions, stopping through to tell us about her training and how it's going for Friday night fights at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame weekend. So that's going to be pretty cool too. But first, let's find out about this summertime brawl action. What's up, ladies? Tell us a little bit about your event coming up.
Right. So yeah, this is a co-promotion with myself and my team, which is called BFC, The Last Round. It stands for Buckhead Fight Club. We're here in Atlanta. We've been promoting shows for quite a while. I've been since 2012. 2010, I started my first promotion. So we've been doing a lot. We had 16 pro fights last year. We got a new partner that we're working with Prestige Boxing Advisory Group, and a guy named John Beninati. And he's been a matchmaker and been in boxing for 30-something years. He's worked with Don King, Al Heyman, all the big names. So he's stepping in now as a promoter, and we've got a lot of experience together. So we're putting on the show, and April's one of our fighters on the card. Speaking of down under and Kambosos, I mean, she's from Australia, right?
It's you guys. What do you guys eat?
Snakes, dude. Have you seen Crocodile Dundee? I mean,
There you go. Croc bites.
But we know who she's
I
going
think
for.
it lives in Florida right now. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm living in Miami now for the past 6 years.
Right.
Look at the accent. I love the accent.
I know, it is so cool. You know our lady Susie Cuden, right? She's from Australia.
I know of her, but I don't know.
Yeah, she's really nice too. I mean, you Australians are pretty stand-up people in my
I was listening to your comments earlier about George, and I have to agree with you on George and the hunger. So funnily enough, George and I are both from Australia, but we have the same coach here in Florida.
Oh, Javier. I love Javier Centeno.
Yeah, so he's in Australia right now. So I've been training with Derek Santos for this next fight.
That's my other boy.
Yeah, but both amazing coaches. But anyway, my point is that I've been in training camp with George for a few fights now. And when he fought Tio, I don't think anyone really expected him to win, because it was so promoted the other way. But when he did win, I was like, okay, I see it. Like, there was no question. It wasn't like, oh, no way. Oh, how did that happen? Like, if you saw how hard George works in the gym,
yes,
it's like there's never a session that he puts in less than like 200%. Like, he turns up like tunnel vision focused, like hardest worker ever. So, I think Devin Haney's going to have a tough time to beat that. And I think anybody is going to have a tough time to beat that. They've got to have everything he's got and more, and that's going to be tough.
But also, I agree with you, Claudia. His father not being there, that's major. I'm like you when, I've been in boxing for 22 years, and I look at the mind and I look at the circumstances more than I look at just the two fighters, records and what their abilities are. Because even if you're looking at the Canelo fight, that Canelo Alvarez was not a Canelo Alvarez I've ever seen. So, there's something was going on. I don't know. By the second round, I thought maybe he's, playing, possum. I'm trying to figure out what his game plan is because it doesn't look like him from the first bell. So, you got to look at the fighter's mentality, what they're going through. He just got married, maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he, fudged on camp. You don't know what could have happened, but I think Canelo's young enough that we won't see that from him again. But it's the same thing with Kambosos. I mean, I think that this Devin Haney not having his father, he actually fought at my gym before too. So it's like the 6th pro fight or something like that. So, what I've seen from that, just from having him on one of my shows, I can tell you that he comes with a crew of family. Like he had his sisters, his cousins, so that's going to be something. I haven't really heard the news as to why his father had visa trouble, but I'm a little curious as to what that was, but that might have some other bearing on what's in his mind. It could be something embarrassing. You never know what he's going to be thinking. And with Kambosos being at home, it's going to be a hard game.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Now I'm going back into the X and O's. There's a difference when you're playing at home and people love you, yada yada. But we all know that for whatever reason, George does not have the same support that, for example, somebody like Jeff Horn had at any given moment. Or if we're going to talk about all these Australian fighters, they were followed by the media. George did not have that effect, but now he's going back home and there's a chip on his shoulder almost. Remember, this is a kid that sold tickets for his fights at pubs because nobody wanted to support him. So he did that on his own. How would that work? That motivation can either just push you into the angry end or into there is no freaking way I'm going to let this guy beat me.
Right. Well, she knows him, so she can probably answer that question. But I will tell you. Talk to
me, Avril.
Yeah, no. One thing about Australia, though, you probably agree with me, Avril. A real good friend of mine that lives in Melbourne and has a gym down there. It's another female fighter. She only did amateur boxing, but she told me, she said there's like a patriotism in the United States that she couldn't understand. It just doesn't exist down there. So that might have a little something to do with it. You got to win those guys over before they're going to give you the approval and support.
There's also a thing. It's the way we're raised and the way we grow up in Australia. There's a thing called tall poppy syndrome. I don't know if you've heard of it.
What is it called again?
It's called tall poppy syndrome.
Oh.
And the idea behind it is if you grow too tall, everyone will chop you down.
Yeah.
And so Australians can be haters, where Americans will be more patriotic, exactly what you said. Whereas if you come too big in Australia and you have an attitude about it, George has a strong attitude. He knows he's good and he'll tell you he's good. And typically the Australian culture doesn't love that. Even though he's got all the runs on the board to prove it. There was a fighter, Anthony Mundine, who was, I
remember Mundine.
Yeah, I don't know if he was so famous outside of Australia, but he was one of the most famous in Australia of all time. And he made so much money and sold tickets to his fights based on the fact that everybody wanted to see him lose. Nobody liked him because he talked, he ran his mouth and he talked a big talk. And in America, that's exciting for people. And they're like, get on board like that.
We love that trash talking.
Yeah,
yes, we do.
Like me. I mean, I'm excited. I don't want to be seeing you guys as friends before a fight. I can't get hype about that.
That's how Rolly sold the fight. Rolly did all that talking, and people bought into it.
Tank Davis. I mean, we do it in the gyms here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so much about like talking down at your opponent. Not so much like that. Like everyone does that to sell a fight, but I just mean like saying that you're good or saying that you're a great fighter or whatever. People want to be like, oh no, you're not. Like nobody wants to
give you that credit, huh? It's like, earn it. Let me see you do it first.
Yeah, like you can achieve, like, look at what George achieved, and yet the Australian media turned around and were like, oh well, there's better than him. And it's like, guys, come on, like he just won one of the biggest fights. Like, publish this article in a year or two. Like, why do you need to say this right now? Like, celebrate him, and what he's just done for Australia, putting Australian boxing on the map. And, it's like Australia can be a bit of haters sometimes.
I see the same mentality among Mexicans. A case in point, Canelo.
Yeah.
For some reason, it doesn't matter how well he actually shows or how well he does. Let's talk about Callum Smith. Let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders. Where do you want me to stop? I mean, did he have a hard time against Lara? Yes. Did he lose against Floyd? A few others lost against Floyd. Right. Really? Like, that's what you're going to hold against them?
50 to be exact, right?
Thank you very much.
Avril, I see somebody walking behind you. Is he a fighter?
Oh, no, who's walking behind me? I don't know. I've got a moment.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. I mean, we didn't get to talk about the Gervonta Tank situation with Rolly and the trash talking. He says that basically he won all those 6 rounds. I don't know how he got the 6 because he got knocked out in the 6. But does he have any? Yes. Does he have any leg to stand on for anything, especially a rematch, guys? What do you think about this?
I'm just one sentence right before I leave because I got a 17-year-old to feed. A whole lot of talk and no chin. Cheers.
It was a whole lot of talking. Well, everybody was talking about it, Claudia. They were talking about Rolly's power and Rolly's this. And I'm like, well, has everybody forgot that Davis has power?
How about Davis know how to box? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing about Rolly is pretty to watch.
Well, he's pretty.
He's a wild fighter. Yeah, he's like Madonna, I mean, Madonna.
Oh, no. Pete. Chino Maidana has perhaps the toughest chins I've ever seen, ever.
Comparing chins, comparing fight styles.
Okay, yeah. They're just brawlers.
Maidana, the things he did with Floyd Mayweather, unseen anywhere. He literally crowded him and over the top. I mean,
he hurt him.
Boxing skill, but what you call brawling and that kind of thing. I mean, Rolly's not as good as near as good of a brawler as Maidana, but still a style that's really awkward and not something that's really beautiful to watch like Floyd Mayweather. He's not a pretty boxer. He's not like Canelo. Honestly, a pretty boxer. He's just a little bit wild.
But like Ricardo Mayorga.
Ooh. I got 2 words for you for Mayorga. Vernon Forrest. Ha ha
ha. You like that, huh? Yes. Well, you know what? I know, Claudia, you have to leave. I'm sorry we didn't have enough time for you. I have to have you back. You want Claudia to come back, right?
If we're gonna get it
Anytime.
It would be nice, but we only got 2 weeks before the Hall of Fame. We'll have to see if Claudia has time for a little old boxing playhouse.
Ladies, before I leave, thank you very much for allowing me to come and play with you guys. I love the fact that we have ladies that have the strength, the power, the knowledge, the drive. So I need more of you to keep going, to keep this wheel growing. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me, and I will see you soon, I promise.
Hey, you know where we'll see you at, for sure. And that's the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. When you get that stunning 2022 ring, that Dahlia Sports. Oh, my Lord, it's so pretty. I'm so excited for you. And we're going to all party because that's the way we do it here at Boxing Playhouse.
Yes, Mama. Thank you so much. And cheers. Cheers. And here's to good work. Good, diligent work. Thank you, ladies. Y'all have a great night.
You too. Thank you. You're so amazing. And we'll see you soon. All right, guys. That was Claudia Trejos. She is the only female being inducted into the 2022 Florida Boxing Hall of Fame this year. And of course, that date was June 17th through the 19th. And you can be here on a flight really quick and join us. All the information for the hotel as well as the tickets, etc., are on the Florida Boxing, Florida Boxing Hall of Fame.com website. Thank you for that. Now, guys, Summertime Brawl. Where can they get the tickets for this while we're talking about events?
Avril, go ahead. If she knows. Ticketmaster.
She's like, what?
I thought she would know it.
I'm just so used to saying link in bio.
Oh yeah. That too, yeah.
But yeah,
they're on Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster. All right, let's see who we got here. Tell us, Terry, the main event.
Well, you guys know Alfredo Angulo. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to have him here. Victor Ortiz is gonna be here as well. We know he just had that little accident.
Yay! I love Victor.
Yeah, we just had Victor. He's gonna be there signing autographs and be at the weigh-in and do some things that, like a special guest. And then we've got Angulo. He's fighting you know what? I can't remember the guy's name right now, but it's a journeyman, but it should be an exciting fight. 8 rounds. This champ, Casey Dixon, he's real popular in the Atlanta rap scene. He's got a giant Instagram following. It's going to be his second pro fight. He's a local kid, been here since the amateurs. I've known him for a long time. Of course, Avril and Quatavius Cash. He's also an Atlanta native. So we got a couple of those guys. And then we've got a Nigerian knockout artist down there, a couple of guys from out of state. It's a pretty good fight card lineup.
Oh, I love it. I mean, that's a real brawl. I'm feeling this card. Yeah. If it was not, it's really close to the time that we're having the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. So, we've been focused on that event. But, oh, my God, next year, if the dates match, we would love to be invited. You look like you really put a lot of effort and did a great job at organizing this, Terry. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. We're on the back stretch here.
Absolutely. Now, where's your partner in crime? Is she still hanging in there with you? I know you guys visited us last year around this time.
Which partner in crime I've got?
It was I don't know if she co-owned the company.
One of my partners. But I've got a couple of partners. They're twin sisters. Oh yes, she was on your podcast. They were on your podcast. Yeah. Yes. So they're not here tonight. So they don't hang out for the day-to-day. I'm actually at the gym, but we just got done training. But they don't hang out with the grind of every day. But they'll be back. They'll be at the show. They'll be around. So, but they're doing their thing. Coming and going. They've got other things they do besides the gym. So we'll have them on the next one.
Well, please tell them that we said hello. And Avril, you have a really tight knit. I had no idea you were training with the team that you are. You down there with one of my favorites, girl. I love me some Zen Desires. What is it like training with all these, champions? And, we've seen you fight a couple of times here in the Tampa Bay area as well. It's been a while because of COVID, but we do remember that you actually were an amazing boxer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you slick now. You slick.
I'm really happy and fortunate to have a really great team around me. Like not just my coach, but the other fighters that I train alongside, like male and female, all of them are champions in their own right and or about to be, you know, and just the energy that in the gym every day, like it's so encouraging and like makes you want to show up to training and put in 110% every day. So yeah, it's a good team to have around me.
Avril, do you miss home, or do you ever think about going back, or are you gonna stay here in the States?
I've been here for like 6 and a bit years now, and so since I left Australia, I haven't been back, and I've meant to go back, but just
Oh
things
yeah.
always come up, you know. And I think having spent my whole life in Australia, and it is quite far, you sort of like, okay, like next summer, next season, next
Right.
year, like, and
I
then
keep doing
COVID
that too.
hit, and you know whatever. So here we are. I mean, I can go back now, but now I have a fight. My visa was like in processing until about a month ago.
Right.
And so that was what was stopping me from going back to Australia. And then I got the visa, but now I have a fight. It's like there's always something, you know. But Australia will always be there. And I mean, yeah.
Have you ever met Jeff Finnett?
I haven't. No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, we
Also
definitely
needed.
appreciate all the hard work and leaving your country and coming over here and dedicating so much of your life to the sport. You know, it's just an amazing story on its own, especially a woman, you know, forging out and doing that. You know, it's a scary thing to take that leap of faith and
Right.
and go somewhere unknown, no matter where it says.
But it's
Right.
also fun. Like I love an adventure and change and, you know, just figuring it out. Like it's part of the story. It's what makes the whole thing fun, you know?
And it was illegal in Australia for quite a long time, actually. So
Sorry?
yeah, it was illegal in Australia
Oh,
for quite a long time for women to box there. Yeah. So as I
Really?
mentioned, a friend of mine, yeah, her name is Misha Mertz. She's written a couple of books about how she was trying to be a woman boxer. You know, that she came to the States and got some fights in the amateurs back then. But she's got a gym down in Melbourne. But she wrote, you know, quite a couple of books about that. You know, trying to be a woman fighter. So it's really cool that you can do it now. So.
Yeah, I think Daisy, what was her name? Daisy Lane. She was pretty. She was from like one of the Russian countries, and she was saying it was outlaw where she was at, and she had to, you know, adapt and move and get those fights until she got to the U.S. But she's a success story too. So these women are big taking chances.
Right. She just got inducted into the Women's International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys know about that. You should come. The next one's going to be in Vegas in October. You know, all women pros inducted in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if Susie Ramadan's been inducted yet, but I'm sure it's on the way. She's still fighting. She's not fighting, right?
Yeah, she was trying to still fight. She's not retired yet. And they had it lined up for her to fight the blind bomber. Forgot her name.
Oh, Ebony.
Ebony, yes, but that didn't work out after they had scheduled it. So you know, she's still out there and she's still in training shape. So not quite, but I do love that Women's Hall of Fame and the fact that Miss Susie Fox is putting in so much hard work out there to make it happen and give women the accolades that they deserve too.
Right.
Yeah. Jalia Duran said, "Nice to see you again."
Yes, her too. I was thinking about that. I last saw her at the Hall of Fame actually in San Francisco. Well, in Fresno.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah,
She's
Rob,
on the board of directors. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see her too. Yeah. Hopefully I'll see her at the Hall of Fame.
Well, we definitely need to go ahead and invite our last guest of the night. And she's going to be on the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame show. And that's a TNK Boxing Promotions show that is June 17th. Let's go ahead and get Miss Carice Brown on here, huh? The Golden Child.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So now, you know, Terri, she is a huge fan of Chevelle Hallbacks. And I know that sometimes she's able to come through and actually give you some sparring and get some work in. So tell her how that experience goes some, just so Terri can, you know, have her Chevelle fix for the night.
Well, the experience is very, very fun. That's all I can say. Chevelle, she's a very athletic female and one that I can get in and get down and dirty with in the ring. It's been a while, busy handling business and whatnot. So hopefully we can meet up sometime soon and get some more sparring in. But yeah, it's definitely a great experience.
Absolutely. She's a wealth of knowledge, and she's from that old school where they believe in like really banging it out for inspiring. Ain't gonna be none of that, you know, we're working on a jab today. No. She's not with it. She's like, I ain't come over here for you to do this. No. So I gotta send shout out and love to Chevelle. Now, Taz, your fight is coming up. You know, sometimes for women, I know you went to Mexico and able to actually fight for the title you went down there for. And that's some of the things that, you know, women have to go through a lot of times is the Mexican fights. And, you know, things kind of setting you off a little bit as far as, you know, being positive and everything. I want to know like how you're taking that in stride in order to get prepared for this next, you know, fight.
Oh, it just doesn't do anything except for makes me push harder, makes me grit a little bit more. But honestly, I've been an athlete all my life, and I love the actual pushback in a sense. It helps for me to push harder, push for perfection more so better, to better up my boxing game, not only boxing, brawling, put everything all together and do what's necessary in the ring. So honestly, when I get in the ring at the Hall of Fame, it's going to be some fireworks. I've been training and getting some things done. Very, very excited about it, and very, very happy to show my friends and family what's been going on for the past couple of months.
Oh my Lord. Now we do have to bring up the fact that you had that legendary knockout that we were able to capture. And it's like, you know, trending on YouTube on our channel now, even still today. Now, I mean, is that a lot of pressure? Because, you know, Sakura A loves a good knockout. So like I'm gonna be looking for another one, but I mean I know it don't always happen, right, Avril? But you know, I still am kind of, you know, looking forward to it. So is that some pressure that you're feeling with this next upcoming fight?
No pressure whatsoever. I just like go in there as usual, have fun, relax, and go for that win as usual, you know. Look for those opening shots, no pressure whatsoever.
Chaz, I was kind of sad with that Mexico thing. I wanted you to win that belt and bring it back. I wanted to hold it.
Yes, me too. There's rescheduling going on, so as soon as I know the details with that, I'll be posting that and can't wait to travel over to Mexico and bring that belt home.
Bring that belt back.
Guys, yeah, one thing you have to know about Emilio is he will ask, can he hold those them belts so he can get his picture. So Avril, be careful around him, because if you got a belt on you, he's gonna be like, yeah, let me see that.
It's gonna take off now. Remember, I used to
Well, now you are trained by Lady Ram. That's Laura Ramsey.
Laura.
Oh my gosh, where is Miss Ram?
Oh, there she
go. Okay, trying to stay a little further back. I see.
And you know, on Thursdays we got to come to Fuzzy Tacos in Lakeland, Florida. We've been coming here for 3 years, and they actually sponsor our amateur boxing program at Big Dreams Boxing. So we're here again, and we show them love, and they show us love in return. So we had to shoot across town to try to make this thing happen after the training. So we're here, and you know, we don't have our glass ready yet, but we'll have our glass ready to shout out the Boxing Playhouse real soon.
Oh yeah.
All right. Lady Ram, don't show up on Hall of Fame weekend without that cup, girl.
Girl, yeah. I want to say hey to Tammy and hey to I think it's Annabelle. How you guys doing? Ciao.
Hey, it's funny to have you two, and both have you guys both on, because me and Laura have been talking about you two fighting. So we're not going to say that, but we realized you're not in the same weight class, because we were talking about.
Oh, what weight class is Avril?
Bantam weight.
Bantam. Oh, Bantam. Oh, okay, 110 to 118 in there.
118.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just like the men's bantamweight.
I know there is a plethora of competition at that level for women, and then it seems like the higher weight classes that you go, the more it thins out. Tell me how that's been challenging for you guys at lightweight, Taz and Lady Rare.
Well, in women's boxing, there's, especially in America, it's not that many to choose from that would be willing and able to actually get in a ring with certain fighters. So, we're having to really stretch this weight, 5 and 6 weight classes. We're even considering super bantam. I think it's 122 for a world title. So, we know she can hit 124. I think she accidentally hit 123. And so, just with a little bit more effort, and, somebody putting the money in the belt up, I feel we could hit that 122 mark. But we're also looking to fight as high as 147. So,
Wow.
She walks around 138, 139 with a good, nice dinner. She's already at over 140, 141. So which that automatically puts her in that welterweight classification. So I know we can do it. It's just a matter of who, when, where, and how much. And that's right now, that's what we have to do is stretch it out, 4, 5, 6 weight divisions. So
yeah, that is really tough. I'm sorry, but that is really tough when it comes to the weight classes for women. And then when you do get those last minute calls, it's like they want you to go from like, let me get a bit stay busy fight to no, this is like a championship fight. Like there's no in between. So I can understand why you guys would want to be flexible in that weight zone. But dang, 123, Taz, what's going on over there, girl? Did you eat that week?
Everything necessarily that I always eat. Some good baked chicken, a couple of other things.
Don't say baked chicken now. Baked chicken is on the card.
Yes. And she also, we're getting ready to relaunch. We're getting ready to relaunch our tea product. I think you and I had talked about it before, but yes. I wasn't quite ready, but she's actually on the tea therapy as well. And, she is, she's fighting at 126 at the Hall of Fame. So that's in 2.5 weeks. And yes. So, everybody get ready to watch that tea launch. I don't want to give too many details, but we're getting ready to launch the tea, and we're going to just wrap it around, the Golden Child, Golden Child. So
yes, we love those shirts. Those are our colors, that black and gold.
Oh yeah,
that Golden Child got it going on with those.
Hey, Laura,
what comment though?
Oh, Golden Child and Avril are some beasts.
That's right. That's Charles Ocasio. Okay.
Charles. Yeah, yes. Gotta put Charles in there.
And he's gonna be commenting. He's gonna actually be a commentator.
Oh yeah.
Yes, commentator on the Florida Hall of Fame pay-per-view.
David Bowser said, "Cannot wait for the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame." That's what I was gonna ask y'all, Laura and Taz. What can the fans expect on that Friday night when y'all step in the ring?
Take it away. You say, what can you expect?
What do you expect when you step in that ring, Taz?
To get some shivers, some sweats. Make sure you got your napkins, handkerchiefs, and maybe some tears and whatnot. So make sure you have everything situated.
I better not go to the stand and get no drink. I better wait, huh?
You might want to wait, yes.
Well, I'm going to ask the same question of Avril on her summer brawl. Like, what can the fans expect from you, lady?
Fireworks.
I don't even know, honey. All I know is that accent is killer. Okay, you're gonna have men coming to the mic just so they can hear you talk. Yes, well, like I said, we have seen you a couple of times here in the Tampa Bay area, and you never ever failed us with excitement. And Terri, I know that you've got to be happy to have her on your card too.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited.
Yeah.
Speaking of excitement, are you ladies excited that Adrian Broner is coming back?
That's right. I saw the news today where AB is actually going to be fighting. Who?
He's fighting Figueroa.
Omar Figueroa, guys, who just had the war with Cool Boy Steph. Does AB have it? Will he stand a chance against Omar at this point in his
work rate? Omar.
Yeah, in this point in Omar's career, it's gonna be a tough battle for AB. Yeah.
Crossroads.
He has to have that mentality, in check. Yeah, he has to bring his A game, So this is not one of those ones that he'll be able to play around with. I don't know if it was a media stunt or whatever, but it hasn't been working. So he has to come up with a whole different game plan.
Right.
And a shame about him because I feel like he could have had a much different career, but he kind of just let things get in the way. Like he could have gotten way, more often, more money, more opportunity,
Right.
making a stand, more making noise. But he just kind of, I don't want to say a bad word, but the bull crap.
Oh my God, it is so bad that he had so much potential and it's been
so much potential. Yeah, just
wasted away a little bit. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'll always be rooting for AB for sure. Like I'm a fan of his. I mean, he took and saw me at the MGM and like literally drugged me across the floor. No lie, right? And gave me a kiss on the cheek. And he was like, "What can I do, baby? I can't fight that man." He had to let it go, guys. He had to let it go.
It seemed like he could have gone so much higher, so much higher. It's not like he did nothing. It's not like he did nothing. But it just seems like, I always felt like he could have been so much more,
much more special. Yeah, more special of a boxer.
More legacy.
He fighting at welterweight. What do y'all feel about that too? This fight's gonna be scheduled at welterweight. That too much for him? He spent his best weight at lightweight.
So if he's going up. So maybe
he's been at welterweight a while. The problem is once he stepped up to welterweight, that's when he started catching the L. So many people believe that he should not be at that weight. However, I guess he has problems making the weight, basically being disciplined enough to make the weight.
Sometimes, getting older is not an easy thing when it comes to weight. And right, Laura?
Yeah.
So, no matter
daily, Terry, daily.
I mean, it changes. Boy. I mean, so and for men, their bones get more dense with age and they get heavier. They can't even, it's a thing. Women, our bones get less dense, but men, their bones get more dense and they just get heavier. Period. Whether or not they want to be disciplined, it can be more difficult. So he's not the person he was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It's a big difference.
Right. Let's go ahead and read Christopher Young's comment.
Oh, Chris said, I remember that one-sided beatdown that Avril gave Angelina Hofschneider in Miami. Goodness. I can't pronounce her last name. You know how to say it, Avril?
Hofschneider.
Oh, yeah. Man, you gave her a beatdown, huh?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, listen, I need you to say I'm more proud of this situation. That is a Florida referee telling you that you had a beatdown. He said, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
Jose Ocasio says, "Taz, go get that belt."
Too.
Yeah.
Right. Let me see if I had any other questions or Mungiao is fighting coming up soon. Let's go ahead and put that up. He's fighting Kelly. Seems like an easy win for him or not, guys?
I've never heard of this guy. I don't know anything about his opponent.
Well, you know what? I have to say something on this one, guys. They need to allow this man to go ahead and step up and fight some real names, because they're just prolonging it. It's not going to make him better. Like, I mean, I did like the fight that he had with a guy from Philadelphia. What's his name? Gabe Rosado. Yeah, he gave him a different look. You know what I'm saying? Something that could help him grow. But I mean, to me, these easier fights in which we know who the winners are. I mean, with Mungiao at this point, they need to stop. I mean, we need to start seeing him fight some middleweights that have established careers and can give him that real experience that he needs, win or lose. Sometimes those losses really give you a huge gain for your future career. I don't think they're doing him any favors. I'm just being honest.
We got
Let's see who else we got.
We got the rematch coming up with the Monster.
Yes, we've got the Monster, and I want everybody to chime in on this rematch.
You gotta watch it early or
okay,
take it.
You got
Tuesday.
Inoue versus Donaire.
The rematch.
And what I have to say about these two guys, ladies.
The first fight was a classic.
The first fight was a classic, but the main thing is you better believe both of these are clean fighters because Donaire does not play when it comes to that.
You gotta set your VCR because it's coming on early Tuesday. Early Tuesday morning. So ESPN, was it ESPN and ESPN Plus? I think it is.
Exactly. So Avril, let's start with you. Do you have the Monster, or do you have?
I'm going for Inoue. When I watched that for the first fight between those two, I became one of Inoue's biggest fans. Like I was like, who is this guy? What? He's like Donaire, no bullshit, but he's a great fighter too. But Inoue is just another something else, another level of talent.
Mm-hmm. It's up there. It's definitely up there. I mean, you're always in danger with Donaire though, because that power hasn't left, and he is a slick boxer, more so than he was in the past. And he did something similar to Broner, where he was moving up those weight classes, and they weren't doing him any favors. So we saw that as soon as he dropped back down to his true weight, he was starting to dominate again. I mean, it's just an amazing career to me. So who's next? Terri?
I mean, it's just a hard call because, whoever the best man is that night. Because honestly, Donaire has such a bag of tricks. He's been doing this for so long. He's so experienced and he's so dynamic. And just when you think it's kind of over, it's not over. I mean, there's just no telling. I mean, I think it's just a really good matchup. It's an exciting fight. I can't wait to see it, but I can't really pull a straw on that one. It could go either way.
All right.
You know what? I tell people I've met a lot of fighters, but I met Donaire in Vegas, and he was like one of the nicest dudes I ever met. Donaire. Remember when we met him? Mm-hmm. He was real down to earth, cool dude.
Was sharp. Yeah. He was dressed sharp too, boy.
He was real cool.
He was dressed sharp. I said, I like this guy.
Behind him. I mean, he's just such a solid fighter. You just don't know what he's going to pull out of the hat. You can always go for the but you just don't know. You just don't know.
And what I really like about him is he's such a family man too. Like he don't play when it comes to his wife or his kids, and his extended family too. At this point, that's still over in the Philippines. Such someone to admire. We'll have to wait and see the verdict on that. But I got one more, and that's Lady Ram and Taz. Who you guys got in this fight?
Honestly, I have heard of the Monster. Other than that, we both gonna have to do some research.
Yeah, you're slipping, girl. That's the type of boxers you got. You need to be watching them type of boxers because they pull out all the tricks. There's not like one trick ponies. They are very well rounded. Both of them are very well.
We have to do some research. I use it. I don't know, for whatever reason. I try to trying to teach Taz. I try to follow the female side and what's out there and things that she could. And I do use, I send her to do homework for certain men, male boxers. But those are just boxers that I haven't given her homework, and I haven't even set it on myself. So I have some of her homework first before I can assign her homework. So I'm going to have to do a little research.
Okay, well, I got one for her, and that is Melissa Duval versus Chevelle Hallback. And also another Chevelle Hallback fight that was really interesting, but it was in Germany. And that was Cecilia Brækhus. Yeah, them two right there, amazing. And then the last one I got for you is Lady Ram versus Gwen, baby. Woo! Oh my God, Terri, you missed it. Lady Ram, she was stumping so hard. I said, "Woo, it sounds like a man in there production." I was like so enamored. I thought that your retirement, you said it was your retirement, by the way, but I ain't seen that. But I'm saying that your retirement fight was like, I thought y'all was just gonna do like some exhibition touch feel type things.
Oh no!
And I got shocked Terri. I was just like, what is
I love the
happening?
women's heavyweight division. I always said, did you fought heavyweight, right, Lauren? Lauren, you fought heavyweight, right?
Yeah, after my surgery, yeah, I blossomed up into the heavyweight, but I fought middleweight, super middle back in the Layla Ali days. Yeah.
Those were the really fun weight classes, man. You remember Ijama? Remember?
Yeah, I fought Ijama on the Don King card. That's the one I knocked out in the first round. I think 14-1, and I knocked her out in the first round. And Don King was supposed. The word has it that Don King was supposed to sign her that night. I actually ended up with the contract.
There you
Hey,
go.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, I mean, she was somebody that when she punched, you would hear it, and Laura too. I mean, these ladies aren't chance because they got in there and played around, and they punch. It's a punch hard like a man. The heavyweight, that was a little strong weight.
Listen, that punch, and them punches was so hard that night that I believe you're still number one in the heavyweight division right now.
Well, actually, I mean, with BoxRec, you actually after so long you fall off. So I'm not ranked anymore. You know, it's okay, but it was a mathematical calculation anyway. She was the only one that fought Layla Ali twice. Both of us were inactive, and just to get in the ring with her and throw the first punch, I would have been ranked number 2. But she actually fought the fight that I signed to fight Layla Ali with. She actually fought that fight. Layla Ali had already knocked her out, and they said I have enough experience, so they brought her back. But Gwendolyn got knocked out in I think 58 seconds or something. So I feel I would have gave them more bang for the buck, but they chose that route. So I just knew mathematically with those power rankings and everything, she had already fought Layla Ali twice. She was a world champion, and all I needed to do was get in the ring and throw a punch to be ranked number 2. And so I was saying, okay, how can I retire number 1? Well, I need to beat her, but I don't only need to beat her because we had already fought 10 years prior. So I needed to win, but there's no better win for Lady Ram than to knock you out. So that's kind of how I painted the picture, and it kind of happened. So.
You did not disappoint. You did not disappoint.
Thank
I told you I was shocked. That's it. I had no clue that you had that kind of power, Lady Ram.
And we both did that at age 50, by the way. So this is just encouragement for anybody who's thinking, they're 40, I'm 39, I'm 40, I'm 41, I want to have babies. Let me tell y'all, I have a story for you. I had one daughter that had 5 kids, and she was a pro boxer as well. And I did it at age 50, and so did Gwendolyn O'Neal. We were both grandmas, age 50 years old, world champions, former world champions, and we retired with 100 years in the ring in Florida. So,
that's going to be on the records for a long time. That's going to be on the record books a very long time. Because Avril, do you see yourself fighting?
That's amazing.
At age 50?
So when I first moved to Miami, I was sparring Alicia Ashley whenever she would come down to Florida to prepare for fights. And I remember this girl, she was 49 years old and a world champion, and I could not touch her in the ring. And I just remember being like they kind of opened my eyes, because I didn't start boxing till I was 25, and I didn't start boxing until I was like almost 30. So it was kind of like, there's no rush. Like there's plenty of time in this sport. Women, it's different to men. I think because men have, such, much more testosterone, and therefore much more testosterone to lose as they age, that really affects them. Whereas with women, it's like, I feel like, especially when you have a baby and your hormones change, you get stronger. So we have less to lose and more to gain as we age. So I think as long as you keep it up and you keep the passion and you don't stop training, then it's definitely possible. And look at you, that's amazing.
Oh my goodness, Taz, what about you? Do you see yourself possibly fighting at 50?
I mean, never say never. Who knows? Let's see.
You better not say no. Have your baby come back and keep punching.
I fought till I was 42, so I'm feeling you on that stuff. But I'm way over 50.
I love that. I love that about all of you guys, that you can continue your career, because for a long time it was like, and this is across the industries, as soon as a woman had a baby, that was it, you know, like whatever they were working on, whether it be a artist, you know, like a musician or something. If you have a baby, that's it, you're done. You know, even in careers like, you know, executive careers and these big corporations, like they literally used to get rid of you once you had a baby. I mean, like, so I'm glad that there's barriers being broken every year. But Lady Ram, you took the cake, honey. You did that damn thing.
And you guys have to just read this in the book when I finish it. But my daughter actually fought her first pro fight with Lou DiBella on Broadway, and I think we used to spar like 50 rounds. So I had my daughter's she's formerly pro boxer, but yeah, we used to spar like 50 rounds back in the day. Yep.
It was no problem. You talking about 3-minute rounds?
Oh yeah, in the gym, 3-minute rounds.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
like I stopped even asking women about the 3-minute round situation, because most women are like, yeah, let me have that so I can, you know, possibly get somebody out of there. I can stop them. I have more time to set it up just like the guys do. So I don't even ask that question anymore, because I already know that most women spar 3 minutes and spar men more so than women. So it's just like a no-brainer to me.
Hey, Avril, I was looking at some pictures. You look like a young Cindy Crawford to me.
Aww. Wow, that's a very nice compliment.
Thanks.
Yeah, I do see. I can see the, you know, similarities a little bit. I do see the facial features are really similar. Oh, that's amazing. Another reason to come to Summer Brawl. She talks sexy and she looks like Cindy Crawford, and baby, she can tear you up, according to Chris Young. He says, shoot, he had to stop that situation. Yes, he had to go. So let's go through these. Let's wrap up, because it's starting to rain hard here, guys. I don't know, you know, how this internet is, honey. So we'll wrap up and say what's up with the Summer Brawl. I'm gonna let Terri talk about the Summer Brawl.
Sure thing. It's gonna be June 11th, Saturday, in Atlanta at Center Stage Theater, which is, if you've ever been to the Palms in Vegas, it's kind of like that. You know, it's all stadium seating, really nice venue for boxing. Yeah, we've got Angulo on the card, K-Champ, some local guys, some not local guys, you know, some knockout artists. We got about 96 rounds of boxing. So we're really excited. It's going to be a big show. Come on out. You can get tickets on Ticketmaster. Doors open at 7, first bell at 8. We're probably going to go past me.
Oh, I love this card. This is a really nice card, Terri. You've really done an amazing job promoting it.
Right.
All right. And of course, you got April
Boxing Advisory Group. Can't forget them. That's my partner, John Beninati.
Okay. And your following.
Gary Jonas down in Florida for a long time. You know, they've done a lot together. He's been in boxing 30-something years. So we're partnering on this event.
Terri, how many events you plan on doing this year? Is this the first one this year?
Oh, no. Not as many as last year. Let me just say, Georgia was the first state to open behind COVID. We had 21 boxing shows last year.
Wow.
That's tiring.
I would have 7-10 weeks in a row every Saturday a boxing show. It was the most frantic experience of my career as a promoter or anything, you know, whatever. Didn't even have time to train my own fighters hardly. But this year we've done about 3. We'll probably wind up with 6 or 7 by the end of the year. Hopefully not, which is okay. Yeah.
That is amazing. You're really doing your thing. I mean, I guess it just sounds tiring, especially when you think about all the matchups and the matchmaking.
A lot of, money, a lot of things. So, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time under your belt for, it's very time consuming. So I'm glad to move past that a little bit. Focus on my fighters a little bit, like you, Lady Ram. I got a pro that I'm really, he's been with me for 9 years. We're really getting to the point to move to a certain direction. So we're ready for that. And I just need to be able to sit down a little bit and focus on what I really want to do, which is training fighters.
All right. I love that.
So I can move them. So, sometimes if you don't have somebody signing them, you got to promote them yourself, right? I know you can do promoting. You've done some promoting already, right? You've done some promoting, Laura?
Yeah, I did one pro show in Florida.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
2014. Yes.
Yeah, they're a headache. But they're fun, Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's go to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame card. That's June 17th. And let's go ahead and let Golden Child and Lady Ram tell us a little bit about that show, where to get the tickets, where to get tickets from them, where at and all of that.
So the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame will be June 17th, the Clearwater St. Pete Marriott and Clearwater St. Pete Border. And you can get the tickets from Champ Taz.
Right here.
Get ready.
Uh-oh.
In hands.
She's getting a little low there.
Yeah,
Right.
That's a lot less tickets than I remember you showing us online earlier.
They're going. So if you guys have not contacted me, get at me as soon as possible.
That's right. And we got Cash App and all kinds of different methods for you to purchase. And she can just hand those tickets off to you right at the fight night.
Right.
It's a pleasure for us to talk to all of you. And we want to send a huge shout out to our special guest, Claudia Trejos, who is receiving her Florida Boxing Hall of Fame ring this year. And we want to say thank you to Terri, who is such an amazing promoter. She is just set her own records as far as a female promoter in probably all the world. I mean, with that many promotions. So summertime is where it's at here in the Atlanta area. And
I think Christy has a lot of shows. So Christy Martin. And
Christy as well, yes.
She's down in Florida a little bit now, I think. She's doing some shows.
I don't think she's done 20-something in 1 year.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you that.
It's a little different, yeah.
That's a lot.
That's like twice a month.
Yeah, well, she said once a month, but twice gotta be definitely. I mean,
Woo.
yeah.
Sound like Mexico, Terri. We're gonna have to come to Georgia rather than go to Mexico.
Yeah, we got to bring her in here. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would love to see that. And then, of course, we want to wish Avril and the Golden Child lots of luck and blessings in their upcoming fights. I know you're going to be spectacular and win all the crowds over, because whether these fans know it or not, the ladies steal the show every time at these events. So it's a new time for women boxers, and especially in what we call the clubhouse shows, as well as on the big stage, like with Amanda Serrano versus Tate. Shout out to them for making people aware that these women know how to get in that ring and really show off and show out. All right, so until next week, guys, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Catch us, or you can talk to any of these women on their social media platforms by going to Facebook and IG. Let's go ahead and get everybody's information so we can wrap it up.
All right.
Terri, you can go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so most of my stuff is on the gym. It's Buckhead Fight Club. We're in Atlanta. That's across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on Instagram, Twitter, I'm T Moss the Boss, Terri Moss on Facebook. But mostly my stuff is going to be at the gym side. My promotions and my show, the gym, all the things we're doing. That's where you can catch us.
Okay.
And I'm Avril Mathie on everything. Simple.
Plain and simple, okay? Simply Avril, okay? And then we got Mrs. Golden Child, Taz, Brown.
Right, on Facebook, Carice Taz Brown, but on IG it's Buffy BUFFY 863, and I believe on Twitter and everything else, say TikTok, it's Carice Taz Brown as well. So.
All right, and of course we're Boxing PlayHouse. We're like Avril. We're Boxing PlayHouse all over this place. So find us, like us, subscribe to us, support these ladies in their bouts, and we'll see you right here next week at 8 p.m. Don't want to miss a moment.
Thanks
we'll
for
see
having
you next time, ladies. Good luck.
Boxing PlayHouse. Thank you so much.
Good luck, Taz.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, guys.
Welcome to the house. The one they talking about. Word of mouth. The Boxing Playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all